Well, we're gonna take a check here right now on the snowfall that has been that fell here. We're gonna start off in New York, where 8.2 inches of snow fell. You can see here that there's the 8.2 that fell. This is near Fort Drum, Watertown, New York. You can see about 6 to 8 inches with a localized region of 8 to 10 that fell into that region, but I don't think anything more than 8 inches fell into portions of New York. But if you zoom out here, you can see into portion, there was some other portions that had some 6 inches, 5 inches, but overall 1 to 3 inch snow fell. Up to the north, Potsdam, New York, picked up a good 4 inches. Malone, New York, picked up a good 3.5 inches of snow. But here's the next region where we had some pretty impressive snows, or well, not the most impressive, but where we had some good snows that fell. A good, we'll say 3 to 8 inches fell into portions of central Vermont. The area I highlighted, this is generally south of Waterbury, Vermont. This includes Norwich, Vermont. This also includes Killington. We all know about Killington, a very popular ski resort. 7 inches of snow generally fell. This is well to the north and west of Killington, well to the north and north and west of Norwich and Killington, where some 7 inches of snow fell. A lot of 4-inch amounts, though, being reported. Generally, it was in the higher peaks that received the better snows. We continue to work our way to the east here, south and east here. There was another little spot that kind of picked up a good snowfall. You can see in the Ashland region, picked up a good 5.5 to a good 6 inches of snow into that region. Nothing major, just, some pretty good snows. As we continue to work our way even more to the south and east, this is really where things get impressive. We're going to kind of zoom in here and show you practically right down to the streets here. You can see this region right in here that picked up a good 8 to 10 inches. Generally, it was 8 to 9. You can see there was a good 9. This is in Stratham. You can see Exeter, New Hampshire picked up a good 7 inches. 7 inches fell. 6 inches was reported to the in Greenland, New Hampshire. You can see another report from another side of Greenland picked up 4 inches. The area closer to the coast in Greenland picked up about 6 inches. Another 8-inch report up into northern parts of Stratham, New Hampshire. So some really impressive snows fell in through these regions. We zoom out and you can see that we work our way over to Portsmouth, and you can see that Portsmouth only picked up 3 inches. And then you start going into Kittery, and you can see only 1 to 3 inches here, and work our way into portions of County, and you can see that, only a coat into an inch. So it was really in selected regions that picked up this impressive snow. You can see northeastern Mass also picked up a good 4 to 5 inches of snow. 5 inches was reported in Ipswich. 2 to 4. We'll zoom out a little bit here. 2 between Amesbury down through Topsfield, going on over into Gloucester and Rockport. A good 3 to 4 inches in the Gloucester and Rockport region. Then around that, a good, generally 2 inches through Beverly and Danvers and, areas around that. And then you start going out through Haverhill, back through Methuen, back through Lowell, back through Burlington and Linfield and Andover, and generally had a coat into around a couple inches. Some areas didn't even pick up anything in through those regions. So, work our way out of northeastern Mass and work our way south and east, south and east and south and west, so generally south. Can see that there was coatings reported in through in through western Mass, and then you can also see going through much of eastern and central Mass. Also picked up some coatings of snows. About 1/10 of an inch was reported in Boston, 1/10 of an inch in West Hampton was reported, and 1/10 of an inch amounts were also reported in Newton and Framingham. Worcester, parts of Worcester and Auburn didn't even pick up anything. Once you worked your way into the heart of central Massachusetts through Gardner, just to the west of Gardner, going through really Sturbridge and areas like these, there was absolutely no snow that fell with these because it was very spotty. You can see Chicopee and going through Springfield and East Longmeadow all the way down as far south as Hartford did pick up a good coating of 1/10 of an inch of snow, which is nothing much, nothing major, just a little flurry activity fell. You work your way over to southeastern Mass in the Cape, and you can see that about 1 to 3 inches fell between Plymouth and Duxbury and Pembroke and Rockland, Mass, and these regions picked up a good inch to couple inches of snow. Work your way in through Dennis, Barnstable, Harwich, a good 2 to 3 inches of snow fell. Harwich picked up 2. Portions of just to the west of Dennis picked up a good 3 inches of snow, 3.3 inches of snow. But you work your way over to Marston's Mills, just to the east of Mashpee, and you only picked up 0.7 inches of snow. So, it was really dependent upon location. Really, you had to be right on the coast with this one to get some measurable snow. We zoom out here, and you see that the coast was prime locations for this. It was really where the band set up. The bands generally set up like this. You can see kind of how the bands, we've got to kind of zoom out even more. The way how the bands generally set up, I know it's kind of difficult to see the colors, but the bands kind of set up in a like that. Missing Boston, missing everywhere else in Massachusetts. They set up in kind of like this, and it kind of worked its way off the coast. So that's why areas in Maine didn't really see much, because it was a band, and it was a very narrow band that was generally moving north and east off the coast. So it came down from New York and generally down like this and then out. But the band was, again, about that long. And as it came to the coast, it kind of expanded a bit because of the ocean. And there was also a little ocean effect on the Cape as well. But I think generally this region in here was more of the band of snow that it was affected. It was a little more ocean effect on the Cape. And then it was just more spotty activity that you saw out in here. There was a few spot snow showers that kind of formed and kind of blossomed a little bit with that approaching cold front that we saw. Other than that, as we continue to work our way through time, nothing really major. We do have a possibility of some fire weather potentially today, but again, it won't be really until today, tomorrow, and also Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We could have some potentials for some fire hazards. It wouldn't surprise me at all if one day this week we're under a fire weather watch or warning or something like that, or a red flag watch or warning or something like that, because of how bone dry this air is. I mean, we're going to have some warm conditions, but the dew points will be pretty cool. So one day this week, I wouldn't be surprised if some fire watches or warnings get posted. But we'll have to see how that turns out. In general, though, we will see warm conditions this week. There will be a chance of showers, and I wouldn't even rule out the potential chance of a storm sometime on Tuesday or Tuesday night, particularly Tuesday night. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pop-up storm coming, as, of course, a cold front will be approaching us, will be practically 70 on Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday we drop all the way down to 60. So if dew points can get high enough, and if things can get itself together, we could potentially be talking about a few thunderstorms around here by the time Tuesday works its way around. But for right now, showers look to be a fairly good bet when it comes in terms of that. Over the next 7 days, generally warm conditions. Overall, things will be warm. I don't expect to see anything in the way of cool conditions really until the end of the month. The end of the month, we're going to have a little bit of a pattern shift. It's going to go really from the west getting the cooler weather to us here in New England getting the cooler weather. And we could see a kind of dreary, cool April. Those cold, raw days where it's just rainy and raining in here, and you might see stuff like that. Now, whether we're going to get snow or not is another question. It's really dependent upon how cool things want to get around here. Actually, what we'll do is this is something else, but we're gonna go to AccuWeather, and I'll show you the 15-day forecast. So the next 15 days looks to generally be like this. As you all know, it's going to be very warm, very toasty generally over the next couple weeks. It's really not until we hit the 15th day that things cool down. It's going to be really 14 days of warm, and then really once we start getting into the 15th, 16th, and 17th day of the forecast that we start seeing things cool down here. And like I said, how cool it gets is really going to be the indicator on whether we get rain or snow. Portions of New England, I would not be surprised, particularly northern New England, if it's going to be the 40s down here. I wouldn't be surprised if northern New England, such as Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, picked up a good snowstorm before the month is out. There's even been some indications that all of New England picked up a good snowstorm. So don't put those shovels away just yet. And I'm not declaring winter over, because there is still some cool air upstream. There's some cool air up in Canada, and it's going to have to come down sometime. Although it's been bottled up there, whether it comes down now or in the future, whether it comes down next year or whether it comes down soon, it's got to come down. I mean, that's just how Mother Nature runs. When you see something bottled up that tight up in Canada, all it takes is a wind shift, or all it takes is a front to come through, and we'll just unleash that cool air down. So, we may be getting warm right now, and it may be getting warm afterwards for the summer, but for the middle part of the spring, it might be about average to below average for temperatures. So that's what's going on. Nothing, like I said, nothing major. But if you look at some of the anomalies from this winter, most of the world was very, very cold. Very cold. Some of the coldest temperatures throughout the whole world in decades. All of that cold that's just been bottled up through these regions, it's going to have to eventually come down here in America, in North America. So even Canada was very cold this year, and Alaska and places like this, they were cold. So we're gonna probably be watching for some cool downs, particularly around the 25th to the 31st. We'll see. We're getting around that 29th region. The 29th of this month does not look, it doesn't look to be too good. We're going to be cold yet again on the 29th. Could we be closing out the winter with a snowstorm? We're not ruling anything out. We'll be watching that and giving you updates as time continues to move its way forward. But thank you for listening, and I will be giving you updates as time continues to move on.